on in, you guys. All right, we're gonna get started here. Hi, I'm John Chase. I'm the head of the math department at Walter Johnson High School in Bethesda, Maryland. And today I'm gonna talk to you about building joyful math communities. At some point you probably will want the slides. So I have this here, but I also have it, I'm gonna make it go away in like 2 seconds. I also have it at the very last slide today, okay? So I'm gonna ask you to go take a look at those in a minute. By joyful math communities today, I'm going to talk about something that we maybe think about not as much as relationship building in the classroom. We spend a lot of time talking about relationship building between students and between us and students in the classroom. And I think we all understand like the benefits of that, right? Like how effective that is for students. But the thing we don't talk a lot about, which I want to really concentrate on today, is the benefits, if there are any. I'm going to ask you right now. What potential benefits do you think there might be to building department community, among like your math teachers, and also school-wide math community? Okay, so take 60 seconds, we'll do a turn and talk. This is like basically the only interactive part of like a lickety-split 30 minutes. We're gonna I'm gonna be talking really quickly the whole time. So this is your chance, you only have this chance, go ahead and talk. Okay, what do you think? Why would you do that?
Yes. Have some of the best ideas of you can test
enjoying math.
Yes.
Yeah, good vibes.
I would say the time in terms
And math is really separate from
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
incorporated
So just like showing back instead of scary things.
being able to make it feel like a big part of
Yeah,
the
I
school
would agree
and
with that too. Like, I
like
Yeah.
how related math class and you talk about like contextual
like if
Yeah,
they
yeah,
get
tie in
to
other things that like running
probably
another.
not gonna
Yeah. Take another 30 seconds here. Keeping the time. You gotta get good at kind of line as a teacher.
Like, that's because you push it.
Your internship's going well so far.
Oh, okay. I even learned that.
Okay, sounds like we're ready to come back to order, maybe. Okay, the conversation is dying. I'll answer the question for you. See how what you said, whether it matches what I'm about to say. Research shows very high positive correlations with school climate, with higher academic achievement, improved student behavior, better emotional health, enhanced engagement, motivation, and willingness to learn. You can, in the appendix slide to this presentation at the very end, I'm not going to go into it, but you can take a deep dive into some of the research that supports this talk today. This is one thing from the discussion section of one of those studies that I wanted to highlight. They said school climate is more than individual experience, it's a group phenomenon that is larger than any one person's experience. And we've all had an opportunity to at some point be caught up in a larger, something that's bigger than ourselves, and how positive that is to be a part of. So that's like the rationale piece. Now let's get into this. This is gonna be extremely nuts and bolts. I'm gonna like fire away at like tons of ideas that I have. By the way, before I go into department community, how many like math leaders, or I know we have a math coach, do we have some other math leaders? Would you call yourself a math leader? Anyone else? No, you're the student still. I don't know. You're influential, you talk all over the country. Okay, you're a math leader, maybe. Mentor some teachers, okay. And even if you're not necessarily a math leader, I think that we all have, I'll talk about ways to do this. I think we all have an opportunity to build department community, even if we're not like the head of the department, okay? And I'll show you why. Okay, so really practical things. Department photo every year. This is something you can hang on the wall. It's something that you can put on your website. It's something you can be proud of, right? So every year you take maybe one at graduation. Maybe you had a hangout. You take one. Maybe you're even during a pandemic and you still need a department photo. You can put it wherever you like, and I like seeing it over the years in our math office, and see all the people that were there. So you can see I've taken this one spot in front of my school. The math department t-shirts is another thing that we love to do every year, and then now I know I'm modeling it for you here. Yes, and represent FHS over there. Look at them, they got their matching t-shirts. So what a great way to build community. I think that it's really kind of fun to have that kind of corporate branding, right? And now I have another teacher who's doing it. At first I was doing it, and now I have another teacher who's like taken on the job of doing the t-shirts. And that bridges to this notion of shared leadership. One thing I would love to do is have my other teachers get up at a department meeting and share, or whatever else it might be in our department, where I can kind of share the responsibility of leadership, create extra buy-in. And honestly, when my teachers fill out their feedback forms at the end of these meetings, this is always like one of the things that gets highlighted a lot is teachers love hearing from other teachers, especially if they've got an idea, they're sharing a strategy that they're like, I actually do this and it actually is working, and people are like, eat that up and want to steal those ideas. So having other teachers out in front of everybody else. Halloween fun coming up, okay? So you can't zoom in on these real well here, but if you look at it, it says like this math teacher, it says like each name of every math teacher died because they disobeyed the law of exponents. You know, it says like 3 to the 3rd times 3 to the 4th equals 9 to the 7th, you know, or something like some failure of, yeah, that's good, yeah, thank you. Yeah. Some failure of some math rule they failed. Okay, that's kind of fun. Or you maybe dress up as a department. Here we are all in superhero costumes. They're getting involved in Spirit Week is a great way to kind of build community. This was a dress like a teacher day. Well, the teachers, we dress like students. So how are you going to evaluate how well we did? Okay. Postcards, going out to the community and to your students. What a great thing to do for students to get in the mail something. A lot of times whenever I've sent a postcard to a student, it's like, it's their first time ever getting something in the mail from a teacher, like in the mail, you know, especially a high school teacher. Social events I think are really important. I'm a big fan of game nights. This is pictures taken in my home, and we like to have game nights around the table. And but you can think creatively on social events. This is a wedding we were at. Obviously, you're doing happy hours, I'm sure, with your coworkers, things of that nature. But think more broadly about it too. Is there an opportunity? This is an end of the year party, right? Obviously, you're doing a beginning of the year or maybe a holiday party, those kinds of things. And maybe things at school. Here's like one of our quarterly lunches that we've done before, right? Where we have like a potluck. Maybe you get together every Friday for lunch, those kinds of things. But also think about things outside of school, like a hike or a play date for all those who have kids or whatever it might be. Goes without saying that we should do this. Right? And bring a colleague along. I've got a few friends with me. I think it's great to kind of try to bring some people with me. Oh, yeah, exactly. And what a great thing to be able to do that, because it's not just about professional development as you do these conferences. It's all about the kind of interstitial time. It's about the conversation in the hallway. It's about the ride share you did. You came with someone in a car. You got that chat. It's the next week afterward that you get to debrief with that person. You're still talking about some of the things you learned. It like kind of really creates some of that glue. So anyone else go to MCTM when it was just last year? No, yeah, it was just last year, yeah. Yes, represent, okay. This was down in DC afterward, hanging out with people after MCTM. That was some of that in-between time, right? A rooftop bar afterward. That was like, right, it was fun. Math, getting together, not just with the math department, but maybe also with the science department. This was a collaboration we did last year, and it was really great to kind of have these two sets of people in the same room, get people who teach the same kids, but in a science and a math course at the same table talking to each other about their shared struggles. Boy, I don't know if you've ever gotten one of your science teachers talking in the copy room, but they'll give you an earful about what they think that their students should know from math, right? They're like, they're struggling with this and this, like, how do you teach that? So to help facilitate that kind of conversation, I think was really valuable for us. And even if it's just like a touch point, and then later allows jump off points later when they're talking to them in the hall, I think it was really valuable to just connect people. Team building activities, really important in my mind to do team building, not just like at the first department meeting of the year, but all throughout the year. So actually this year for the first time, it's not going to be something I do every year, but it's kind of a special thing. Our district has like a outdoor education center, and they will do facilitations, not just with students, but they'll also do facilitation with adults. And so I took our math department there and did some like team building, some low ropes, confidence building course type stuff. And oh wait, there's another guy in the room right there. Okay. And it was fun. It was like a memory made. It's not something I'm going to do every year with my department, but it's something special that we can kind of have done together, and everyone had a good time. You can tell, look at all the smiles. So that was fun. And the other piece of that I really liked was normally I'm the one that leads team building, and it was really nice to just have some facilitators there doing it. So I'm just like, I'm there with you. I'm part of the team. Notes of gratitude. This is 1 second. I have these. I meant to put these out. What did I do with my backpack? So I do I make these little mathematically themed notes. I'm gonna assign someone this job. Here, can you throw some of those on everybody's table? These are souvenirs. You can take some with me. I lovingly cut them up. Yeah, there's a little stack. You can take some with you back to your department. And I always try to encourage my math teachers to spread the love. I write lots of these to teachers as well, and other staff outside the math department as well. And they're all kind of math themed, you'll see. In the slides, one reason you're going to want to get the slides link at the end too is because I have a link to the file that I use to make these, so you can make your own too. So you're going to have the file to make these too. I have like a document I can send you that has all these. Yeah, exactly. I just made them. You know, that's all. I'm just a person. I just made them in Word. That's all. And then I cut them up. Yeah. I'll have it for you. So sometimes even during a department meeting, I'll take 5 minutes and be like, let's write a note to someone and encourage them, spread the love, spread the joy. Here's an example of where our department photo shows up. I'm sure all of us have some kind of digital space where we can come together as a department, so I just want to encourage, I don't have much more to say about that, but a place where people can share resources, that kind of thing. The photo section of that department ideas is done. This is the less exciting part because there's not photos for them. But so anything that has a picture camera next to it, I put that because we already talked about it. Okay. I think this was a cool idea. By the way, this is not just a presentation of my ideas of things I've done, but also a collection point for ideas I've heard from other people as well. So, Kayla White, a leader at Wooten High School, she said they have an ongoing puzzle in the math department office that people can kind of continually work on. I thought that's a great idea. Let's get on that. That's fun. I like that. Community builder questions. I'm a collector of things. One thing I love to collect is community builder questions. I think my list of well-curated community builder questions that are kind of my favorites is probably 200 questions long now. So you can click on this when you get the presentation and you can use those. I like to use them every day in my class. Every day I have a community builder question. But I also like to use them with my department too. So, life together, I already kind of mentioned some of these ideas. One other shared leadership in our department is I have a teacher who's taken up doing birthdays with everyone. And so they pair everyone up at the beginning of the year. And then that person is responsible for, bringing the favorite treat of that person, passing around a card, decorating the door, whatever, that kind of stuff. Making people feel special. In general, though, don't we want to be a place where we can kind of be in each other's lives and rejoice and weep together, right? Whether it's a funeral or wedding, we want to kind of come around people in love. In that same spirit, one thing that I'll do is I'll sometimes share, send an email to my department in the summer, and I'll include some business items that I've been hearing from meetings. But I'll also say what I've been up to this summer, or I'll include a family photo from where I've been, or something like that, or even throughout the year, being able to kind of pepper in, just recognizing that we're humans first, right? Students second is what I heard this morning. Yeah, absolutely. Family photo wall in the math office. We have a bunch of a place where people can kind of hang photos of their families, their friends, their kids. That it's fun to see, again, people in their real, who they are, right? One thing I thought I'd mention too in terms of why I do all this is it's actually very good, I think, to have people that are friends that are working together. In fact, you might even put two people who are best friends on a course team. If you the reason are you best friends over there? Okay. Well, and the reason is because they're not gonna just meet once a week for a PLC. They're gonna be texting each other in the morning on the way to work. They're gonna be and the kids are gonna benefit from that, right? The kids are gonna feel that kind of that support. So sometimes I might intentionally do that. Food is of course good. Put candy out, put all whatever. Right? People like food. It brings the people together. Nothing gets people to the math office like cupcakes or donuts or something like that. Yeah, and sometimes it means turning away kids, right? For one day a week, we can we're givers, aren't we? We're math teachers, so we're all used to having kids constantly, all the time, every day at lunch. So is it okay for one day a week for you to hang out at lunch together as a math department? Yes, it is. Okay. Other things I've already kind of said. I want to encourage you to think more broadly about ways you can hang out. That's all. This one I think is an interesting one here too. I think it's always important to me to invite former and future, someone maybe you just hired to various social events. I think one thing that communicates in my mind is not just that when you leave you're going to be that we still love you, but also to the people who are still there. It communicates that the reason that we love you is not because you work here. It's because we have something that's going to be deeper than even after you leave. We're still going to be friends. It's that's something I think that is important to communicate. Some department meetings ideas, what do you do when you're actually in a department meeting? Well, obviously I think I already talked about kind of team building. Think about a change of scenery, your kids and your students like going outside. Maybe your teachers would too. I won't go into this, but these were really fun, and my department seemed to like these. So I put these resources here, something I did once. that took people from like surface level to like really deep conversation over a course of like 20 minutes or so. Yeah, well, that's all I'll say about that slide. Appreciation. I already talked about these NAF themed thank you notes. When you get this presentation, you'll be able to click on this, you'll be able to go get them, okay? And the whole PDF of the ones I made. You can even do verbal affirmations in a department meeting. It always kind of feels a little bit touchy-feely, right? But if you have people who trust each other, sometimes you gotta go over that, you gotta get over that and just be like, out loud actually tell each other around in a little circle, okay? At your tables, say one nice thing. It's only gonna take us, 2 minutes, but like, just say one nice thing about the person that sits in front of you. Some other ideas from Crystal Brown, she's the head of math department at Blair, at Montgomery Blair High School in Silver Spring. I like this one here, like the idea of highlighting a teacher, whatever, in some way in a newsletter. That's kind of fun. Ongoing professional development, see if you can get your business, your money person, to buy all your teachers a book. Maybe it's a math book or an education book of some kind. You can make them read it. Like I made all my teachers read Teach Like a Champion. I had them present throughout the year at our department meetings. Or you just give it to them and don't make them read it. That would be fine too, right? And then maybe there's just kind of more natural things that happen. And gives you one more touch point, one more thing to talk about. Joanna Sabatino, one of the leaders from, sorry, these are all MCTS people. She talks about using a pineapple chart. I don't know if this is her idea or it's a bigger idea, but she said she has, is this something lots of people do?
Yeah, we have one in Pinkridge, but I don't understand it.
Okay. I will explain it briefly. Well, because it looks kind of like a grid, I think she used it, I don't know, like kind of, it's like got little cells, like a pineapple does, I think that's why. And what she does is she'll have like periods 1 through 7, periods 1 through 7, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then if you're doing something cool, then you put a sticky note on it and say, hey, come see this thing I'm gonna try. It doesn't even have to be something like you're an expert at. It could be the thing you've never done before. I want some feedback, and it creates that culture of feedback. So anyway, it's just something that I thought was a cool idea to share. I like to share positive feedback with teachers in batches and send it to the whole department. This accomplishes a couple things. Obviously, it's like informal observation and feedback. But it's also then, when it comes out to everyone, it's a form of appreciation and praise. And it's all positive stuff I'm sharing, right? And it's also a form of professional development, because everyone's gonna see what everyone else is doing and they're like, oh, that's cool. I'd like to try that too and steal that idea. I've even sent out some like little videos captured from different classes. It's kind of a fun way of encouraging people and also doing some professional development. I already mentioned that one. Oh no, actually, yeah, a lot of times there are opportunities in the area, different lectures online or in person somewhere in our area, especially in the DC or the Baltimore area. I'm sure there are lots of kind of mathematical opportunities for people. And then I also always like to share what I'm thinking about reading and learning from math in general. So I come across an article that's got me thinking, I want to share that with the math department or whatever it might be, some podcast. I'm going to skip this slide, but you can check it out in the stuff. Okay, because I really want to get to the second part too. Got about half our time still here, that's perfect. I want to talk about school-wide math community. Okay, so I've got another few pictures for you. Ready? Okay. I love having guest speakers in. So this is Glenn Whitney. He's the founder of the Museum of Mathematics in New York City. And he came and did like a walking math tour with our students. Let's go here, let's go there. Let's talk about, he's doing, maybe you can see even from there, from this blurry photo, what he's doing. He's talking about the mathematics of a hanging wire, right? He's deriving some catenary curve, okay. This is James Stanton. He came to our school. He did like 800 kids in the auditorium. Have you ever done a math assembly before? It was like a math pep rally. If you know anything about James Stanton, he is awesome. He's like captivating, and all he needed, he just like, I was just telling Will at his session, he did this too. He had a marker and a document camera, and that's all he wanted. He came like completely empty-handed. Just like, have a document camera and some Sharpies for me. And he just like, normally when you think of a guest speaker coming, you think of like them carting all their stuff with them. He just like came completely like off the metro. He's like, hey, I'm here. Actually, he said, good day. He's Australian. This is a math magic thing we did at lunch one time. This is a topology lecture that at lunch a friend of mine who's a professor came by. Here's another James Stanton lecture, this time during the pandemic. And we invited lots of different schools as well, because it was easy to have. Shout out to Linda Loomis right there. Okay, let's see anyone else we know. I think some of your students are up there.
I was there for this.
Yeah, you're on there somewhere? Okay, yeah, but some of your students might be on there, yeah, too. This is Rebecca Peterson. She's the National Teacher of the Year from last year. It's very rare that the National Teacher of the Year is a high school math teacher. That's awesome. And Rebecca and I are kind of online friends. She comes to DC for lots of things, so I was like, you gotta come by our school and give a talk, so that was fun. Math events. Obviously you're gonna have a pie eating contest, right? Or you're gonna have maybe a pie puzzle hunt of some kind, a big competition. You're gonna have lots of pies, maybe a pie smashing competition, right? You're gonna have some people pie you in the face or something. Math field trips. I think it's really exciting. This was at the National Math Festival in DC a few years ago now. And I recruited all my students to be volunteers at the festival, right? Like these kids are here today serving in a capacity. They're not my students here today, but so these are my students who are like helping out running these mathematical exhibits. It's really cool. Anyone know who that guy is? John Urschel, yeah, and it was fun for me to take some of my students down there and like to an opportunity where he was speaking. More of my students. Math field trips could be to the National Harbor. You can imagine what math concept we were doing. In our district, in Algebra 2, we've got a little bit of trig. Yeah, and so we were doing the circular trig functions, and these kids were coming up with the equation of the height of a rider at a given time t. Like, how cool to go down and actually figure it out from timing the Ferris wheel and everything. This is the National, I should have asked when you recognize this place. This is Einstein, down in front of the National Academy of Sciences. And we went down to a lecture, a whole bunch of our kids, to see Robert Lang talk about the mathematics of paper folding and how powerful it is in the sciences right now. So think about math and paper folding. Amazing that would have an application. If you don't know about it, you should look it up. It's beautiful and fun. Math competitions. This is Who Wants to Be a Mathematician. This was a Pi Day puzzle hunt. We've done those kinds of competitions before. I'm sure a lot of you do AMC or things like that at your school as well. Great way to kind of spread the joy of math. It's not just for people in math team, right? I've been a big advocate of mural projects. At my last school, to give you some of the murals that we did, we put like kind of famous equations above all the lockers. We put the digits, I think we got like 300 digits of pi down the hall. There's a formula that you should memorize or rederive. I just went to Will's talk and he was rederiving this formula, so you can see some of the murals that we have up there. Come on, a polar garden, you gotta have a polar garden, right? The equation of each of these is right here next to it, right? There's some kids writing that, well, you can, even though you can't see it, I think you know what formula it is. It's not done yet, or it is now, that was years ago, but there's one we just did 2 years ago. It's the 13 Archimedean solids. It's like a 50-foot mural, and it's so beautiful. I love this. It gives me such life to walk down this hallway now. It's like someone in blank paint. It was a completely white wall. It's like a crime. It's a crime. I was like, so what about the ceiling? This, you might not be able to tell, but that's a ceiling tile, right? Okay. You can paint those. You can. These are some students painting this mural right here, which is a version of the thing that was only first discovered like less than 2 years ago, of the specter tile, which is like this variation of the Einstein tile that doesn't make a repeating pattern. No matter how hard you try, but you go ahead, try to make this tile repeat, you cannot. And it's amazing. It's brand new mathematics. We just painted last year. No one has ever discovered such a tile until just within the last 2 years. It's pretty amazing that it took us so long as in a mathematical human endeavor to find such a tile. And this is a version by a certain mathematician that I like better a little bit than the one that appears in their paper. So just want to pay homage to that. It's beautiful. Okay, so those are the picture portions. Other school-wide math ideas. Okay, so what have we not mentioned here? I think we got most of this stuff on this slide in the photos. Same with this, I think we covered those. I've invited some people before to come and do like a multiple visit guest speaker, right? Where they do like a short course over a few weeks at lunches or something. The Global Math Project is a James Stanton thing, but there are like millions of kids all around the world doing math simultaneously, engaged in the same exact mathematical task all around the world. It's kind of exciting to be kind of doing math worldwide at the same time. So I encourage you to check out GMP. Math art, could be math posters, could be problems hung around the room, around the school. Maybe you have a display case that you can use as a rotating place to display mathematics and advocate for math. School-wide math competitions, obviously there are lots of ways to do that, and again I want to emphasize that those are not just meant to be for people who are math team people. Those are a great opportunity. They're fun, creative problems for anyone to solve. So get people involved in those kinds of things. I've never done this, but I like this idea. I think I got this from someone else. This idea of doing math problems over the announcements. Once a week, there's a problem that's given on the announcements or something. That's kind of a fun idea. Some of you may have like a math help room at your middle or high school or something like that. So I think that's an opportunity for math advocacy in the school environment as well. I won't say too much more about that. Anyone have like an Instagram feed for their department or YouTube page or something like that? This is kind of a fun thing to be able to do as well. You can check out an example at one of our high schools in our county has an Instagram feed. Those math-themed notes can be used with students as well. So I've often used them with students as well on like a wellness day or something. I'm like, let's all write a positive note to someone. Only rule is it can't be someone in this room. The goal is to love out, right? Like show some love out to people that are not in this room. Let's spread the joy. So I'll use those with students as well to spread mathematical community across the whole school. Maybe those T-shirts could be for students as well, right? We could like kind of the Math Honor Society, or maybe everyone is invited to get a math T-shirt. Maybe there are opportunities to celebrate like math history or our different heritage months, you know, and then make math a highlight during those times. What else do I want to say up here? Anything that I want to highlight? Yeah, I think it's important after me saying, I told you I was like going to increase the bit rate during this talk. I'm like, can this John Shapes guy speak any faster? So I just want, there's so many ideas I've just thrown at you. So I think an important thing to mention is like, is this all for you to do at once? No, a lot of these things I've done at different times, not all at once in the same school year. And as you progress through a role and you're more it's not all stuff you do in your first year, you'd be overwhelmed, but like things you can do over time, and also that you can get others to help you, right? Get your Math Honor Society students to help you. Get your, I don't know, get some parents or volunteers like to do some of this stuff, right? Collaborate with other departments, whatever it might be. I had emailed about this presentation James Stanton for some feedback. I'm not going to read this, but I want to just include him in the slides so when you read them later, you can see James Stanton's comments about spreading math joy, his take on that. The reason I asked him is because he's like big on joyful mathematics. That's like one of his taglines. So I just thought it would be worth asking him. 3 slides worth of stuff from him that you can read if you like. Okay, let's wrap up here. I want to give you an opportunity to share a couple ideas. We have 3 minutes by that clock. Who wants to share something I didn't say? What else are you doing? And I'm going to give you an opportunity to also put that in our feedback form today, so you can share an idea if you like, optionally, in our feedback form that I'm going to have you fill out too. This will give me a chance to catch my breath for a second too. Yeah, do you have any other ideas you want to share though? Anybody? So doing something that is exciting, that's really exciting for your school or your department?
Presenting together.
Presenting together, yeah. Like they didn't listen to that, but Maggie and Cindy did she said presenting together.
Yeah.
Actually, not just going to a math conference, but presenting together.
Presenting together,
Love that.
because you're working on some sort of passion together in
Yeah.
order to do that.
Yeah, you're celebrating something that's probably work that you've just been doing with kids. Yeah.
One thing our team started doing this year is every classroom has like a bulletin board that says like, where did you use blank outside of this room? So like ours is math, where did you use social studies, where did you use ELA? And they can pick something like within school if they want to, like, oh yeah, in science we made this table, or they can pick something like in their life. But then every classroom has one of those. It's like,
Right.
it's not just
Be
in these
careful.
four walls.
The next time you hear this talk, these are going to be on these slides. This is why this
No,
presentation will
put it
just
in
keep
there.
growing. You know, this is great. Give me another one.
Well, this reminded me, I was hoping to try and figure this out this year, but last year we were talking to iFly. You know iFly?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I went there
I don't
once.
know if you've
Yeah.
done a field trip there, but they said they do field trips, and we were talking about doing it with all the calculus classes.
Oh, awesome.
About
Yeah.
like motion and stuff, but probably like after the AP exam. But it would be a good thing to do at the end of the year.
What a great idea. Yeah, there's so many opportunities for that after the AP exam. How many
Yeah,
opportunities do we
it's the
have
best time of
for,
the year.
for doing fun stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anybody have another? Oh, because my friend Apostolos is in the room, I have to tell you one thing that he did this year to get shared leadership. He came up with this idea. We do a game afternoon. We have a lot of teachers who drive really far away and don't want to come to a game night at night,
Right.
because we have teachers commuting for only an hour away. So we did a game afternoon before back to school night. It's like now an annual tradition. It's Apostolos' thing. He brought snacks and everything. I loved it. It was so great. And so now that's a tradition we like. It's so fun. Because a lot of people don't go home between school and back to school night. So like, what a fun opportunity to just hang out together, make it official. This is just for your quiet reflection. What are you gonna, I hope you heard one or two ideas that you're gonna like implement this year. And so this is the slide I promised at the end. So go ahead and scan this. It has all the links in here you can follow to read the slides more closely because I raced through them. To follow the links, to create your own notes, all that kind of stuff. The link to my, whatever it is, 200 community builders, all those kind of things. So feel free to check those out. You can look more closely at all that material. When you get there, it is a feedback form, and at the top it has, so give me just a little bit of feedback, it's very minor. But at the top there's also the link to the slides too, so you'll see. Do both though, if you're willing to give me some feedback. And maybe you can, because I might forget, you can share the ideas that you guys shared in that form too. And I think that takes us to the end here. So I'm gonna stick around for questions, but thank you guys. If you guys wanna make some more comments, we can chat some more just offline about how we can kind of build math community at these two levels. Again, I really think it's a wonderful thing to think about together because it's not always the thing we're talking about. By the way, I could give another session on relationship building in the classroom. I just think that one's been done before. So like I think that's really exciting too, obviously, building relationships in our classroom. But good. Thank you guys again for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.